All right, so I've talked a lot about delves and how they make me a lot of gold. Firstly, I want to start by thanking the random on the internet that alerted me to the fact that I was accidentally farming these undercoins. But on the at the reset of each week, you get on each character. On the first delve, you complete this quest, the archaic cipher key. And when you hand that in, and it's just near Bronzebeard, when you hand that in, you get 1.5 undercoins, and that allows you to buy 3 of the Delph bags. And in those Delph bags are a chance to get some really good regents. But the thing you want the most is the profaned tinderbox. And occasionally you get really lucky. I had one the other day where I got 3 boxes out of one bag. But usually the items range from 700 gold each up to 2,000 gold each for those tinderboxes. I think they're 2,500 at the moment. That was the last lot I sold. It fluctuates a lot there, so it isn't guaranteed. And you can do that on every alt. And not only is it a good way to gear your alts up for these other farms, because at the end of the run you get a piece of gear. I tend to do tier 8s, the tier 8 bountiful delves on my discipline priest. I have got a mage and I've done a single delve. I did the quest delve and I did that on level 3, I think, and I still got the cipher key. So I don't think it has to be a bountiful to get the cipher key. But I do the tier 8s because I'm trying to gear up as best I can to make some of this other farming easier, because I want to do mount farming in the future, and it would just be easier if my item level was a bit higher. So that's the cusp of it. For every delve you do, depending on what tier level you do, I tend to cap out at tier 8. I think I could do the higher ones, but I don't actually know if you get any more coins for doing those. So leave me a comment if you do. But I've noticed that you get, as long as you kill all of the little purple dudes, that, like in the video here, that get the special buff from the bad guy. As long as you kill all of the purple dudes in the completion and you finish it timed, so you don't do any of the dying and you finish it pretty quickly, you get 3 of the boxes at the end to open. And in those boxes you get anywhere from 200 to 300 delve coins, has been my experience. If you're lucky enough to get that treasure map, which, you know, I run these delves to get my Great Vault pieces all the way to the end for those crests. So if you don't get a piece of gear that works for you, you can pick the little coins and you can swap those for crests. So I do like, I don't know, 8 of these a week. So I am doing a lot of these, but it's because I want to. But you often, probably once a week, twice a week, you get that map, and that gives you an extra box at the end, and that has 16 gear in it, I believe. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that has extra delve coins in it too. So there are a couple of ways you can get that, and they're just really, really easy ways to make gold while gearing up. And almost everyone, whether you're a gold farmer or you're looking to do raids, are looking to gear up to make those gameplay things a bit easier. The higher your item level is, the faster you're going to run things down, even as a healer. So it's beneficial in a number of ways to be doing these delves. But you might find that, like me, you had hundreds, thousands of these coins. I had enough to buy the pet initially, and I tried selling that and it didn't make any gold, so don't do that. Unless it's doing insanely well on your realm check first. I think I made 15,000 gold from that. I had to spend a lot of coins on that. I would have made a lot more gold buying the bags. So yeah, definitely go have a look at that. These delves often pair well with the world quests, with the weekly quests you get. Sometimes Bram will give you some quests himself, and they can occasionally reward the coins, but often they do give a cash, and I did complete one, and I'll attach the bit at the end for this week, and I got 3,500 gold from that little box, that cash box at the end there. I was already doing the delves anyway. You can also collect the Titan discs this way, so the world quest, the weekly world quest where you get the Titan discs, you can also complete that quest this way and get the cash at the end of that. So there's a lot of overlap here. If you're a farmer, like a cloth or just anything really, with cloth, mining or herbs, you can pick that up in these delves. I'm not saying it's an insane way to make gold. Don't do it. Don't run delves exclusively for herbing, as an example. But there are other ways to make gold while you're doing this. And with most gold making strategies, the thing that works the best is finding something that does a variety of things. That way, if something caps out in the market, you've got other options. Like with the weaver cloth, it's selling for half the value it used to sell for. It's still making a lot of gold, don't get me wrong, but I'm no longer rolling in it for every single run. But my leveling my tailoring points up has made a big difference because now I can do those public orders and I'm making a lot of gold that way. So by branching out and making sure you're just making as much gold from doing a single thing as possible, it's kind of like just in life, really. Having multiple sources of income makes it less likely you will struggle financially if something happens to one of those sources of income. And I just brought that principle into WoW. So I look at what is the best ways to make gold doing something and turning that into many different ways. So I'm going to go have a look next at my enchanter. So this toon is an enchanter and a tailorer. I do make almost all of my public orders on my tailor profession. I don't get many. I sometimes get the crests, but mostly I make those orders on my tailor. So I'm just going to go have a look and because I have a lot of recipes. I have an insane amount of gold, and you've probably noticed in some of my videos, if there's a recipe on the auction house I don't have, I buy it. So I have an insane amount of recipes that I haven't been using. I'm going to go and make a couple of those and list them on the auction house and see if there's a good way to make gold that way next, because I think that it could be a nice passive way to kind of use that enchanting ability. Mostly I've been just using it to enchant my own gear, again, to make these runs easier. But I think I could make some gold that way. So I'm going to go look at that next. But again, doing this delve at the end, I can disenchant the things I get from the materials to make those things to put on the auction house, which is again doing the delve for the coin. I only run delve solo. I run Bran as a healer. I just find it the easiest. The little pots he puts on the ground means that I can focus on doing damage, and I found when he was a DPS, I was constantly having to heal him. Just didn't want to have to do that. So I put him down as a healer for this, and I found that that really helps with some of those tougher bosses. I also have him collecting the herbs. I've got the little, I don't know, talent point for it that collects the herbs. And the mining, like every time I run past it. So if you're a miner or a herbalist, it's kind of like a good way to double tap those plants and ores, so you can get it twice. But if you're not, putting that talent point on Bran is a good way to make sure you are getting the herbs and the ore from these runs, even if you don't have the professions. Like I said, I'm a disciplined priest. I have a mage, but I'm currently like level 72. So I don't actually know if these delves are any easier as a DPS or a healer. I have no idea. They take me a little while. I'm finding they're taking like 22 to 30 minutes, and that could be because my DPS is really low. Let me know in the comments if it goes faster for you as a DPS. I think my item level is 614 at the moment. I realised I was capped out on Bella Stones and went and improved all of the gear that I could there. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, but it gave me like a 3-point bump, so that was nice. Go check your Bella Stones, make sure you're not capped out. Yeah, so let me know if it's a bit faster on a DPS. This is just a reminder, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe. It's free for you and it's super helpful to me. It lets the algorithm know that you paid attention to my video, which is awesome. Thank you. But if you haven't already, clicky on that button. So we've made it to the end of the delve. I did it without dying, and I did it pretty quickly. So I got all of the boxes here. The little piles of gold, they're nothing really to scream home about. I wish they would improve the amount of gold you got based on the difficulty of the delve, because it doesn't seem to make any difference whether I do a tier 1 or a tier 8. They range from like 6 to 10 gold per pile, which is like sketchy, Blizzard. Come on, it's harder. Give me more gold, damn it. All right, so we've got our undercoins. I will say I had a little bit left over from the last 3 bags I bought. I actually bought it in the tailoring video at the beginning of the tailoring section of this video and listed them on the auction house. So you actually see me do that in the beginning there. I've also recently become aware that you can get a mount by completing the delve achievements. So that's another reason I'm going in here. I like mount collecting. And you know, now that we're kind of in the middle of the season, there's a little bit less to do. I know the Siren Isles came out, but I don't know how long that'll be new for, you know, before you've done it and it's done. So I will be continuing these delves to finish these achievements, but also for the gold farming that I've been doing. Yeah, so these runs are pretty easy. They're finished pretty quickly. If you did it with a group, they might go faster. I don't know. I prefer to do these kinds of things solo. That's just kind of the person I am. So that's really all for this section of the video. Like I said, the dells make lots of gold. They get you gear. You get the achievements towards the mount. There's lots of reasons to go do them. But if you're looking for specific gold farming, go and check it out. Those coins make you a lot of money, and you probably already have a bunch of them in your bags. Hey, this is just me from the future. I completed it and handed in that cipher quest, and I did record it. So you can see here that I got a lot of coins. So I actually got really lucky with these bags that ended up with 4 tinder boxes. So I actually made a ton of gold this time around, something like 13,000 gold for something I was already doing for clearing. But I just thought I'd show you the part where I get it and list it on the auction house. So I'm not just saying things, it's real. That's all for this video. And as always, remember, girls don't play WoW.